Are you looking for happiness? Would you like to extend your life by a few years? Well, if your answer to those two questions is yes, then tonight's gospel reading is for you. Now, tonight's gospel reading comes out of the 6th chapter of Luke, verses 27 to 38. And tonight we're going to do something a little different with the gospel homily time. In a moment, we're going to read that gospel as a prayer together. Because it is said that when you say something, you take ownership of it. For if you say the words of the gospel, if you can move those words of the gospel from your lips to your heart and then live it, you'll find yourself a happier person. And medical researchers claim that those who are happy live longer. The challenge is, can I live the words of this gospel reading? Let's say those words and hopefully move those words from our lips to our heart to our life. Let's take a look at the gospel itself. Now we're going to take this apart piece by piece. So together let us pray. Jesus said to his disciples, "To you who hear, I say, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. To the person who strikes you on one cheek, offer the other one as well. And from the person who takes your cloak, do not withhold even your tunic. Give to everyone who asks of you. And from the one who takes what is yours, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do the same. If you lend money to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners and get back the same amount. But rather, love your enemies and do good to them, and lend expecting nothing back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High. For he himself is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful just as your Father is merciful. Stop judging, and you will not be judged. Stop condemning, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and gifts will be given to you. A good measure, packed together, shaken down, and overflowing, will be poured into your lap. For the measure with which you measure will in turn be measured out to you. That is one powerful gospel reading. If you can live those words of that gospel reading, you can change your life for the better. If you can live the words of the gospel reading, you find yourself a happier person. You would just get rid of all the baggage of life and just let it go. And just learn how to forgive and how to love and not judge and not complain. Just live those words of the gospel reading. But sometimes life is a matter of choice. Your attitude, your disposition is a matter of choice, is a matter of selection. Am I going to be happy? Am I going to be mad? That's a decision I make. It reminds me of a fellow who boarded a train. He was going some distance. This passenger was on a train. He got a little hungry, so he made his way up to the dining car. He sits down at one of the chairs at the table, and the waiter comes over to him and says, "Sir, what would you like to eat?" He said, "Well, I'd like to have, according to your menu, I'd like to have some steak, mashed potatoes, and asparagus." So the waiter said, okay. The waiter went to see the chef and said, "This is what the man wants." And the chef said to him, "Uh-oh, we ran out of asparagus. Go tell him we don't have any asparagus. He'll have to select something else." So the waiter went to see the fellow and he said, "Sorry, sir, we don't have any asparagus. Would you like something else?" And he got mad. "What do you mean you don't have any asparagus? This is a dining car. You should have asparagus. You have it mentioned here in the menu. I want asparagus." "I'm sorry, sir, we don't have any asparagus." He said, "Well, if you don't have any asparagus, I'm not going to eat anything." Well, the waiter felt bad, and he went back to tell the chef, and then the chef went and tell the conductor, and the conductor thought, "Oh, I know what we'll do. We're approaching a town. We're not intended to stop there, but we're going to make an intentional stop at that town." So they made an unplanned stop at this town. They sent the waiter into the town to see if he could find a store and get some asparagus. To the luck of the waiter, he found the store without much effort, and the store, in fact, had asparagus. He bought a big bundle of asparagus and ran back to the train. When he got on the train started down the track, and the chef started working on the asparagus. The waiter went and told the passenger, "Guess what, sir? We made an unplanned stop, and we picked you up some asparagus." And the passenger said, "I don't want an asparagus now." "What do you mean you don't want asparagus? We made an unplanned stop. We got you some asparagus. We'll make you your dinner." And he said, "I don't want asparagus now." "Why don't you want asparagus?" And the man said, "Because I like being mad." I like being mad. Now, you might know some people in your life and your dealings who just like being mad. Every time I run across someone that likes being mad, I say to myself, that's the asparagus story all over. They like being mad. Kenny, don't make them happy because they're content being mad. They're happy being miserable. But you see, that's a decision. That's a choice. In today's gospel reading, if you live the tenets of today's gospel reading, you have a happier life. Happy people live longer. But you might know some folks who just like being mad. They like being angry. You might know some folks who just love judging, who just love not forgiving, who just love condemning. You might know folks in your life that just like doing those things for whatever reason. Now, it turns out to be, as the gospel reading says, judging or not judging, condemning or not condemning, forgiving or not forgiving, being mad or being happy, those are decisions we make all day long. When you wake up in the morning, and maybe you didn't have a perfect sleep, but you wake up in the morning, got a lot to be thankful for because you're alive when you woke up, but you're faced with your first decision. Am I going to be happy today, or am I going to be mad? And all during the course of the day, there are a lot of things that don't work out just the way we planned them. And every time something doesn't work out that we planned, and it's a little setback, and it didn't go my way, you're faced with a decision. Am I going to be mad, or am I going to be happy? Which one will you select? I don't want any more asparagus because I like being mad. I've run across people who, they like being mad. I say, go ahead. Don't let me stop you. You see, the gospel tenets are powerful, but they're beautiful. Again, just check it out in your own Bible. It's going to be the same words. 6th chapter of Luke, verse 27 to 38. When you get ready for bed at night, if you keep the Bible next to your nightstand or on your coffee table, wherever it's at, flip to it. 6th chapter of Luke, verse 27 to 38. And there is the ultimate challenge for life. If you can live this gospel reading, make it not only something that comes from your lips, but it's in your heart, becomes part of your life, you will be happier and you'll live longer. But you might say to yourself, I can't live the entire verse 27 to 38, 6th chapter of Luke. How about if I just do a small part of that? Okay, I agree with that. And I'm going to leave you with this, and I'll say it, and you can listen to it. But if you could just live verse 37 of the 6th chapter of Luke, you would find yourself a happier, more content person. Let's take a look at verse 37. There it is. These are powerful, powerful words. Stop judging, and you will not be judged. Stop condemning, or you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven.